We have some major breaking news. Sean Diddy Combs has just filed a $100 million defamation lawsuit against NBC Universal for the making of Diddy, the making of a Bad Boy documentary.
Because my next guest just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-off party.
Buckle up, because Diddy is waging a legal war against NBC Universal, Peacock, and Ample Entertainment. A battle so intense, it's already fueling rumors of an even bigger storm behind the scenes. This isn't just about a documentary. It's about power, reputation, and survival in the court of public opinion. It all began when Peacock released Diddy, the Fall Levy, a Bad Boy, a 90-minute expose, promising to reveal the man behind the fame, and reveal it did, but not in the way Diddy or his fans expect. Instead, the film unleashed a tidal wave of allegations, portraying him as far more than just a controversial artist. From accusations of orchestrating violence to claims of even darker misconduct, the documentary didn't hold back. Diddy, however, isn't staying silent. He's fighting back, and this legal battle is just getting started.
Did he? Or didn't he? Well, if he didn't, he's got a lot to explain. Well, apparently what Diddy's done now, which is a very interesting thing, is he's on the offensive of sorts. That's right, Sean Diddy Combs has initiated a $100 million defamation lawsuit.
Diddy's lawsuit is just as dramatic as the documentary itself. He's taking on NBC Universal and its partners for a staggering $100 million. Accusing them of defamation and reckless disregard for the truth. According to his legal team, this wasn't just a hit piece. It was a calculated attempt to cash in on his high-profile legal troubles. And the timing, suspicious to say the least. With Diddy's own criminal trials set to begin in May, his lawyers aren't buying the coincidence.
And in their complaint, Diddy's attorneys were saying that NBC Universal made the assumption that their client has committed numerous heinous crimes, including serial murder, R of minors, and S trafficking of minors.
Diddy's legal team is tearing into the documentary's credibility, calling it a rushed, sensationalized project designed to beat out competing films on the same subject, and they're not holding back when it comes to pointing fingers. According to the lawsuit, the producers relied on questionable sources, many with their own legal battles against Diddy, among them former employees, acquaintances, and even an attorney actively representing alleged victims in separate cases. His lawyers argue these individuals had every reason to exaggerate or outright fabricate stories to serve their own agendas. One of the most explosive claims in the documentary ties Diddy to the tragic passing of his longtime partner, Kim Porter. The film reportedly featured interviews suggesting her death wasn't natural, fueling conspiracy theories that Diddy's camp was slammed as baseless and outrageous. And it didn't stop there. The documentary allegedly linked Porter's passing to other high-profile losses in Diddy's circle, painting him as the common thread in a web of misfortune. His legal team argues these claims aren't just irresponsible, they're dangerous, especially with his criminal trial looming.
Specifically challenges allegations suggesting that Mr. Combs and his involvement in the 2018 of his former partner Kim Porter, whose passing was officially attributed to natural causes by the Los Angeles County coroner.
But the controversy doesn't end there. The documentary also delves into Diddy's personal life, relying on anonymous sources to allege decades of inappropriate behavior. One of the most incendiary claims comes from an unnamed individual who suggested witnessing questionable events involving younger individuals. Diddy's legal team has fiercely denied these allegations, emphasizing that those involved have since publicly confirmed they were of age at the time. According to the lawsuit, they argue that these so-called revelations were presented without proper fact-checking, creating a false and damaging narrative designed to tarnish his reputation.
There's no evidence about it. I mean, what are you doing? You're saying I did this stuff, and there's no evidence whatsoever. You're out of your mind. You're crazy. There's no evidence of this. Now, his attorneys argue that the documentary maliciously portrays him as a monster and draws unfounded comparisons, they allege, to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the lawsuit...
And then there's the tone of the documentary. Diddy's lawyers have labeled it a full-blown character assassination, accusing the filmmakers of using sensationalized language to manipulate viewers. Phrases like embodiment of Lucifer and comparisons to notorious figures. Those didn't sit well with Diddy's camp. His legal team argues that this wasn't just inflammatory. It was a deliberate attempt to destroy his reputation beyond repair. And with his criminal trial on the horizon, they claim the documentary's portrayal could seriously jeopardize his right to a fair hearing.
They go on to say, quote, it maliciously and baselessly jumps to the conclusions that Mr. Combs is a, quote, monster and a, quote, embodiment of Lucifer with, quote, a lot of similarities to Jeffrey Epstein.
But Diddy isn't just playing defense. He's going on the offensive. Rumors are swirling that his legal team is preparing to file additional lawsuits, potentially pushing total damages sought to a jaw-dropping $1 billion. Yes, you read that. $1 billion. While details remain scarce, insiders suggest these lawsuits could target other media outlets, former associates, and even individuals who have spoken out against It's a bold move, but one that aligns with Diddy's long-standing reputation for fighting back when cornered. And make no mistake, this legal onslaught isn't just about money. For decades, Diddy has been one of entertainment's most polarizing figures, praised for his entrepreneurial success, but often criticized for his larger-than-life persona. According to his team, this lawsuit is his way of drawing a line in his way of saying, but will it work? That's the billion-dollar question. Diddy's lawyers are in a relentless battle to secure his release on bail, an uphill fight, to say the least. Despite offering a massive $50 million bail package, complete with house arrest and strict monitoring conditions, the courts have repeatedly denied his requests. Prosecutors argue he poses a risk to the community and could potentially influence witnesses, a claim his defense team fiercely disputes. They insist that Diddy has been fully cooperative with the investigation and deserves the chance to prepare for trial from the comfort of his home.
Monitoring another push to free Sean Diddy Combs tonight, with his legal team citing new evidence in an updated bail proposal. The music mogul agreeing to around-the-clock security and cutting out contact with basically anyone but his legal team to get out of jail ahead of his trial scheduled for May of next year for charges he allegedly coerced and abused women for years.
But here's where things get even more intriguing. Some legal experts speculate that Diddy's defamation lawsuit isn't just about clearing his name. It's a strategic move to shift the public narrative. If his team can discredit the documentary and its sources, it could cast doubt on the broader allegations against him. And let's not forget, the court of public opinion matters just as much in high-profile cases like this. By going on the offensive, Diddy's lawyers may be working to influence potential jurors before the trial even begins, setting the stage for a battle that goes far beyond the courtroom.
Everybody familiar with the old Houdini? So what Diddy's lawyers are trying to do is pull a Houdini. They're trying to say that the evidence that they have is different. Well, it's not different. The video that the entire world has seen is not going to go away. The fact that he had parties that were freak-offs is not going away. So it's just a question of whether or not Diddy is.
At the same time, this lawsuit sparks a bigger debate about the responsibility of media companies when reporting on controversial figures. Did NBC Universal and its partners cross the line in their pursuit of a sensational story, or were they simply doing their job as journalists, uncovering uncomfortable truths? It's a question that will likely fuel discussions for months, especially as more details about the documentary's production come to light. And then there's the human element, often lost amid the legal firestorm. Diddy's family is caught in the crossfire. His mother, Janice, has been vocal in her defense of her son, calling the accusations part of a larger coordinated effort to bring him down. She's urged the public to reserve judgment and allow him to have his day in court. His children, too, have faced immense scrutiny in the wake of these allegations, standing by their father as the storm continues to unfold.
Good morning, Michael. At this point, we've all probably heard about these infamous parties. Diddy's assistant now giving us details about what he says were called Wild King Nights.
As for Diddy himself, he has steadfastly maintained his innocence, framing the lawsuit as more than just a battle for his reputation. It's a fight for his livelihood. In public statements, he has expressed confidence that he will be vindicated, urging fans to focus on the positive impact he's had on the music industry and beyond. But with so much at stake, both financially and personally, it's clear this isn't just a legal battle. It's a war for his legacy. So where does that leave us? On one side, there's a documentary that has ignited outrage and debate, questions about accountability, and ethics in storytelling. On the other, there's a celebrity using every tool at his disposal to fight back against what he sees as a calculated smear campaign. And caught in the middle, a public captivated by the spectacle, waiting to see how it all plays out.
A lot of times you have him with a younger female, and there's a power dynamic there. A more impressionable girl is easier to reel in. Consent is between the people that are engaging, and I wasn't there in these situations to understand the consent.
But here's the reality. This is just the beginning. As Diddy's lawsuit gains traction and new allegations and counterclaims emerge, the story is far from over. Will he succeed in shifting the narrative in his favor? Or is this legal saga the beginning of the end for one of hip-hop's biggest icons? One thing is certain, this is a battle no one will forget anytime soon. And with whispers of even bigger lawsuits loom, the drama is only just heating up. But while the legal storm rages on one side, the other side of this saga is even darker, more explosive, and impossible to ignore. Let's talk about the downfall of Sean Diddy Combs. Once the undisputed king of hip-hop, he is now a man fighting for his freedom, his legacy, and perhaps even his future. How did a mogul who built an empire from the ground up find himself at the center of one of the most scandalous legal battles in entertainment history? And more importantly, can he find a way back?
He was responsible for Diddy's day-to-day life, so he is able to provide a lot of information about what that life was like. He goes into detail on extensive...
Let's set the stage. It was September of last year when Diddy's world came crashing down. The music mogul, renowned for his flashy lifestyle, massive business deals, and seemingly untouchable persona, was arrested in New York. The charges, let's just say, they were serious enough to send shockwaves through the entertainment industry. This wasn't just about scandalous behavior. These were accusations that could put him behind bars for life. And from that moment on, everything changed. Diddy was taken to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a stark contrast to the lavish mansions and five-star hotels he once called home. Meanwhile, his legal team scrambled to secure his release, offering an enormous bail package that included house arrest in his Florida estate. But the courts weren't budging. Denied again and again, Diddy remains behind bars, awaiting his day in court. Yet, even as he sits in that cell, the storm surrounding him has only intensified.
And I know you said he explained all of the items that were involved in these Wild King nights. Did he mention who would participate as well?
A lot of them were unknown to him. He did mention that a lot of the women were very, very young as 20, not underage, but certainly.
For starters, let's talk about the charges, because they're serious. So serious that, if convicted, Diddy could be facing a sentence that keeps him behind bars for the rest of his life. Prosecutors have painted a damning picture of a man who allegedly used his wealth, influence, and power to manipulate, intimidate, and control those around him. They've detailed elaborate events, some spanning days, that reportedly involved behavior so shocking it's hard to reconcile with. The same man who once danced across stages in shiny suits. But here's where things get even murkier. As more people come forward, the accusations continue to pile up, and they're not just tied to the initial charges. Lawsuits have been filed left and right, each one adding another layer to an already. Some of these claims stretch back decades. Individuals alleging they were wronged by Diddy at the height of his fame. Others are more recent, suggesting a pattern of behavior that only grew more reckless over time. And then, there are the rumors, whispers of even more allegations waiting to surface, fueling speculation about just how deep this rabbit hole really goes.
Did Phil explain why he's speaking out now?
He said he's speaking out because he believes Diddy's a predator, he wants accountability, and he doesn't want someone like this to run unchecked in the future.
One of the most shocking claims to emerge involves allegations that Diddy retaliated against individuals dared to expose or confront him. In one case, a woman claimed she faced serious consequences after making an offhand comment about Diddy's rumored involvement in an infamous case concerning another rapper. According to her lawsuit, weeks later, Diddy allegedly tracked her down and delivered a chilling warning, one that left her fearing for her safety. If her story is true, it paints a disturbing picture of a man willing to go to extreme lengths to protect his image. And then there's the collapse of Diddy's empire, once a dominant force in music, fashion, and business. His brand has suffered a catastrophic downfall since his arrest. Sponsors and business partners have distanced themselves, some even cutting ties completely. Events he once headlined have been quietly rebranded, and product lines bearing his name have all but vanished from store shelves. It's a stark contrast to the days when anything with Diddy's stamp on it was a guaranteed success.
A former assistant to Sean Diddy Combs speaking out in the new interview with new allegations about wild parties and
But the fallout isn't just financial. Diddy's reputation, once a mix of admiration and controversy, is now in ruins. Public opinion has shifted dramatically, with many questioning how someone so successful could end up in such a catastrophic situation. While some loyal fans continue to stand by, others have turned away, unable to reconcile the allegations with the man they once idolized. The scrutiny he now faces is unlike anything most celebrities have ever endured, and with new accusations surfacing, the pressure only continues to mount. Then there's the impact on his family. Diddy's children, who have largely stayed out of the spotlight, are now being unwillingly dragged into the conversation. His mother, Janice, has spoken out in his defense, but even she has acknowledged the emotional toll this ordeal has taken on their family. In a heartfelt statement, she described the pain of watching her son be judged, not for who he truly is, but for the narrative being constructed around him. Her words have struck a chord with some, but they've also sparked debate over the fine line between loyalty and denial. And then there's the looming trial set for May, one of the most high-profile legal battles in recent memory. Prosecutors plan to call dozens of witnesses, including individuals who claim to have first-hand knowledge of Diddy's alleged behavior. Meanwhile, his legal team is gearing up for what they've called the fight of his life. They've accused the government of overreach, arguing that the case is built on unreliable testimony and a desire to make an example out of him. It's a defense that could work in his favor, but it's also a massive gamble.
Surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointee.
As the trial date looms, the stakes couldn't be higher for Diddy. This isn't just about clearing his name, it's about securing his future. A guilty verdict would be devastating, not only for him, but for everyone who depends on him. And even if he's acquitted, the damage to his reputation may be beyond repair. It's a no-win situation, and it's unfolding on a global stage. But this story isn't just about Diddy. It's about the culture of celebrity, the power of the media, and the way we consume scandal. It's a stark reminder that fame is a double-edged sword, capable of building you up just as quickly as it can tear you down. As this saga plays out, it's worth questioning how much of what we see is the truth, and how much is a carefully crafted narrative designed to dominate headlines. So what's next for Sean Diddy Combs? Will he defy the odds and rebuild his legacy, or is this the final chapter in a once unstoppable career? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, the world will be watching, and as the trial unfolds, expect more twists, turns, and revelations that will keep this story in the spotlight. Stay tuned, because this drama is far from over.
I agree, and the risk of flight was always going to be a tough argument for the government, because obviously Combs voluntarily came to New York. He surrendered his passports through his lawyer. He could have fled after the March raids of his Miami and Los Angeles homes, but he didn't. He has access to 2 private jets. I think it was a tougher argument. I know the government made the argument, but clearly the best argument was the dangerousness and the witness tampering. They had much more evidence.
Dive into this explosive case. Consider this. How will Diddy's legal battle against media giants shape his legacy? And what does it mean for the future of celebrity justice?
Could this lawsuit be a turning point in the power dynamics between celebrities and the media? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity news and analysis.